Once upon a time, in a forest of tall, jagged mountains lived a little bear named Birdie. Now, Birdie was no ordinary bear. He loved exploring and going on grand adventures. And one sunny morning, he decided it was time for a new adventure. So he packed some food, grabbed his trusty backpack, and set off into the mountains. The trail was steep and rocky, but Birdie didn't mind. He loved climbing over the rough terrain and looking out at the beautiful view. As he made his way up, he saw some mountain goats leaping nimbly over the rocks. "Hello there," called out Birdie. "Where are you guys headed?" The goats looked back at him and replied, "We're on our way to the top of that mountain. Care to join us?" "Oh, I would love to," said Birdie, "but I have to go to the big meadows to look for berries." "Well, then good luck with your search," said the goats, and they continued on their way. As Birdie walked along, he heard the sweet singing of a mountain bluebird. "Hello," called out Birdie. "That's a lovely song you got there." The bluebird hopped down onto a rock and said, "Why, thank you, kind sir. Do you want to hear another one?" "I sure do," said Birdie. And the bluebird sang another beautiful song. "That was wonderful," said Birdie. "But I must be on my way. I have to go find some food." "Well, then walk quickly," said the bluebird, "for I heard a grumpy old coyote back there saying he wanted to eat a bear for dinner." Startled, Birdie began to run. He ran as fast as he could, dodging around rocks and trees, and he soon came to a wide-open meadow filled with delicious ripe berries. It was the perfect spot for a picnic, and Birdie decided to stay for a little while and enjoy himself. After eating his fill of berries, Birdie started to explore the area. Soon he found a perfect spot to pitch his tent, so he set it up and made a small fire to keep him warm and make him feel at home. Then he sat down next to his little fire and thought about how lucky he was to be alive. "This is the life," he said to himself. Just then, his two best friends, Finley the fox and Sammy the squirrel, arrived at the meadow. "Hey, guys," said Birdie, waving to them. "Come sit by my fire, and we can tell scary stories." Finley and Sammy happily joined Birdie by the fire, and the three friends told each other spooky tales all night long. They also roasted marshmallows and sang songs until it was time for bed. Birdie, Finley, and Sammy slept in their tent until the sun began to rise. When they woke up, Sammy said, "I'm hungry. Can we go look for more berries? There's nothing like them in the whole wide world." "Good idea," said Birdie. "Let's go." So the three friends set off into the forest to gather some berries. They spent the whole day picking berries, and by the time they returned to camp, their baskets were full. "Hooray," said Birdie. "Now we will have something to eat for the rest of our adventure." But then suddenly, Sammy said, "Oh, no, I forgot to bring a knife to cut the berries clean off the bush. And if we don't pick them clean, the bush won't grow back." "Don't worry, Sammy," said Birdie. "We can just take some of these bushes back with us to plant in my garden at home." "That's a great idea, Birdie," said Finley, "but I am afraid we won't be able to carry all those bushes over such rough terrain. They'll just get caught on the rocks and fall apart." "You're right, Finley," said Birdie. "Then we'll have to find a way to fix this problem." Suddenly, Sammy had an idea. "I know what we can do," he said. "We can put the bushes in my backpack and you guys can help me carry it." "Great idea, Sammy," said Birdie. "We're a great team," but as they started to load up the bushes, they realized Sammy's backpack was much too small. "Oh, dear," said Birdie. "We'll need a bigger bag." "I know just the thing," said Sammy, "but I'm too small to carry it." "You'll have to help me, Birdie." So Birdie and Finley tied a big leaf to Sammy's back, turning his backpack into a huge leaf pack. Then they helped Sammy carry it to their camp. "That's not gonna work," said Finley. "Look how lopsided it is. It's going to fall over." "I know," said Birdie, "but we don't have much of a choice." Sammy struggled to keep the heavy leaf pack on his back, and soon he tripped on a rock and fell. All the bushes flew out of the leaf pack and tumbled down the hill. "Oh, no," cried Sammy. "What are we gonna do now?" "Don't worry," Sammy, said Birdie. We'll just have to start over and try again. Birdie, Finley, and Sammy spent the rest of the day gathering more bushes and trying to figure out how to carry them. They tried putting the bushes in boxes, barrels, and even a baby carriage. Nothing seemed to work. Finally, as the sun began to set, they sat down on a log and gave up. It's too hard, said Sammy. Let's just plant these bushes here and start back to camp. Okay, said Birdie, but let's make a plan so this doesn't happen again tomorrow. So the three friends gathered some sticks and built a small campfire. Then they planted the bushes and started back to camp. On their way back, they met a wise old owl who asked them what was wrong. Birdie explained everything to the owl, and the owl said, "You need to learn how to work together." The three friends looked at each other. They knew the owl was right. They had been trying to solve the problem by themselves, but they never took the time to really listen to each other's ideas. "I'm sorry, Birdie," said Sammy. "I should have listened to you when you said we should have brought a wagon." "It's okay, Sammy," said Birdie. "I should have helped you more when you were carrying the leaf pack, and I'm sorry too," said Finley. "I wasn't very encouraging when you came up with crazy ideas. I just kept telling you why they wouldn't work instead of helping you figure out how." The three friends apologized to each other for being bad listeners and promised to do better next time. Then they continued on to their camp, where they roasted marshmallows and told each other encouraging stories until it was time for bed. The next morning, Birdie, Finley, and Sammy woke up feeling refreshed. They made a plan to work together and had a wonderful time gathering berries and planting bushes. At the end of the day, they felt accomplished and happy knowing they had solved their problem by working together. Birdie, Finley, and Sammy continued their adventure in the mountains for many days. They explored caves, climbed trees, and played games. They faced many challenges during their adventure, but they never gave up. They learned that with perseverance, they could achieve anything. And most importantly, they learned the value of friendship and teamwork. Together, they were a powerful team who could overcome any obstacle. And so their adventure in the mountains continued, filled with fun, excitement, and new discoveries. If you enjoyed this delightful tale of friendship and adventure, don't forget to show your support. Your encouragement means the world to us. Also, we've got more fantastic stories waiting for you. So stay tuned for more adventures. Thanks for watching.